we have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
Once again, insanity abounds. We have Obama allowing thousands, over 30,000 criminals to be illegal immigrants, to be released into the population, not deported as he promised back in November of 2014. No, let's put more criminals on the street, and let's keep propagandizing how the police are so terrible in the schools and putting all this hands up garbage and hands up, don't shoot. Let's continue this whole distraction and divisive tactic that's being used by the elitists and their puppets. Now, this is all a carefully crafted Hegelian ploy. The problem is twofold. We have criminals, illegal criminals, that the rate of recidivism is high. These people continue to go through the system, feeding the prison system profiteers, the private prison system, so they love it. And now you also have the rising police state, because if they can't trust the police, we're going to have to come up with some sort of a federal solution. It rises for an excuse that police are the problem, and police are not the problem. The New World Order is the problem. The police state is the problem. Allowing criminals to be put into the street is just insane, and allowing people to come across the border and spread disease. Now, there are all of these cases of these diseases that are showing up. They're putting all these people through here, but they tell your child to get vaccinated. But they'll let all the illegals come into the country that they want, spreading diseases that we haven't seen in 50 years in some cases. I mean, this is the truth. This is what the media refuses to say. The world has gone crazy. Christiana Figueres, the Executive Secretary for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, actually admitted during a news conference this month that the real goal of all climate change propaganda is to kill off capitalism. Quote, "This is the first time in the history of mankind that we are setting ourselves to the task of intentionally, within a defined period of time, to change the economic development model that has been reigning for the last 150 years since the Industrial Revolution," Figueres stated. So, I mean, we're like, this is the United Nations. The real reason for the global warming is to kill capitalism, and that's what it's doing. And we're getting world socialism out of this thing. Wake up! This is not a conspiracy theory. It's an agenda that they speak of. Check out Agenda 21. Anything with sustainability. This whole green thing. Okay? The whole environmental movement. Read books like Limits to Growth and The Population Bomb to get some understanding as to where this whole thing started from, and the Club of Rome, who are behind this whole population control aspect. This is the New World Order. And they're working for world domination, to take away our rights, to take away our borders, to take away our freedom. And we cannot allow this to happen. 2-month-long World War III martial law exercises are to be held in 7 southern states from July 15th through September 15th of this year. Thomas Meade, operations planner for the Army's Jade Helm Realistic Military Training, spoke to the court during its December 8th meeting and told the commissioners that 60 to 65 military personnel will be involved in the exercises, which will be conducted between July 15th and September 15th at privately owned land. This allows our soldiers to get a better training environment. You can only do so much in a military environment. You don't get a true interaction with the public.
There was a bland press release in early afternoon from City Hall that referred to, quote, a routine military training exercise. Well, there was nothing routine that folks reported about seeing the jarring, as they witnessed the jarring scene of at least 3 Black Hawk helicopters flying at times in close order formation, at other times separating fairly widely, zooming in and around residential office towers. We talked to several of those who were still a little bit shaken up by what they had seen.
and they were lower than my building in between the towers, so that did make me slightly paranoid. I text my husband, who's in the military, or was in the military, asking if this was alarming because I could see what color of clothing they were wearing. It was frightening. I was definitely alarmed.
I was pretty amazed because they were definitely military and there were definitely guys with machine guns, so I thought that perhaps there was some alarm or concern.
Who was in the helicopters that you saw?
Well, we saw military guys in the helicopters.
They were hanging out of the choppers?
Yep.
Three in a row. We saw 3 helicopters in a row and they kept circling around.
Jade Helm is an 8-week joint military and interagency unconventional warfare exercise that will be conducted in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. They're preparing for ultimately what will be civil unrest that will lead to possibly martial law by demonizing police and causing more crime and mayhem and discord. They're doing this. They're making this happen, and it's occurring, and they're putting all of the proper conflicts into place that can generate their own heat. And then again, this is the Hegelian dialectic, this Hegelian ploy to generate discord and then offer the solution through martial law. So where are we? We're at an impasse with logic. Logic no longer exists. Only political correctness, and you have to be good to these people that want to have a better life, and we can give them a better life here in this socialist country by giving them every benefit under the planet that's available. Give them free health care. Give them. Now they're giving them retirement. They're going to get retirement benefits and haven't worked a day or put $1 into Social Security. See what's going on here as far as the deindustrialization and the devaluing of our currency that's gone on over the last 60 years, actually 100 years with the devaluing of the currency. And you do not see that everything is getting global, and that the standard of living of Americans has diminished tremendously over the last 40 years. And you can see this steadily increasing, and now calling for carbon taxes, and we have to, you got to tax because of the environment. We've got to continue to tax to stop global warming. And it's called neo-feudalism, and that's where we're headed. I wrote an article on this. You can go to howardnema.com. The path to neo-feudalism. We have these collectivists that are trampling on the Constitution, trampling on the individual rights of the people, constantly in our lives, in every way, shape, or manner, both on the federal level and in many states on the state level. And the media is just it's like so pro-establishment and pro-whatever is really happening. I mean, there's really no, even the so-called conservative media, they never attack the true problem and focus upon it, which is the banking system of this nation, which has been sold to private international banks. This is where we are. This is the new world order we're heading into. Again, this is part of a long-term plan, an age-old plan that has been put into place. You could look again, Carol Quigley. I keep going back to him recently in the last several videos and shows, broadcasts I've done, is because that book is so important to understand what's happening, where basically the banks want to financially control the political systems of each country and the economy as a whole. And that's a quote from Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley. So this is what they've been doing, and that was written in 1966. And look how much things have changed. See how history affects us, and how the mainstream media propaganda that we see, and it's in the films and the television shows, and now you have this each generation sort of gets a little from that. But now music and films and everything have been sort of become like
we are in process of developing a whole series of techniques which will enable the controlling oligarchy to get people actually to love their servitude. First of all, to standardize the population, to iron out inconvenient human differences, to create, so to say, mass-produced models of human beings arranged in some kind of a scientific caste system. A number of the predictions which were purely fantastic when I made them 30 years ago have come true or seem in process of coming true. That a number of techniques about which I talked seem to be here already, and that there seems to be a general movement in the direction of this kind of ultimate revolution, this method of control by which people can be made to enjoy a state of affairs which, by any decent standard, they ought not to enjoy.
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Bubblegum, they're like disposable. Take the time to research things I talked about today. Find your own truth. There is only one truth. Seek, and you'll find it. I'm Howard Nima. Thank you for watching Truth Talk News. Check out howardnima.com and Truth Talk News Live on YouTube, as well as Freedom First Films on YouTube.
We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We do it in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.